All right, it looks like we're live, Emily. So whenever you're ready to start the circus, we're ready for you.
I think I'm actually starting.
Oh, Leanne is gonna start the circus.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me share the screen.
There's no delay and stuff like that. Oh, I don't have to like quickly figure out. There we go. Exactly. All right. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we're looking for approval of the consent agenda, which includes approval of the order of business and approval of January regular and special board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the order of business as well as the approval of the January regular and special board meeting minutes.
1 second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Visitors and patrons. Communications and petitions.
I don't know if anybody reminded you guys if you have signed in. Thank you.
Public comment period for non-agenda items and non-personnel related items. Right, we'll move on to program updates. First, we have FFA.
I'm Riley Smith. I'm a senior and I'm this year's chapter secretary for our FFA chapter. We've been very busy and have continued to thrive in our FFA contests and activities this month. On Monday, we competed at the Spring District Contest in Townsend. We competed in mechanics and learned the results of our online farm business management contests. The farm business management team took 4th place and qualified to compete at the 2026 Montana FFA State Convention. With the closing of the final Southwest District FFA contest, Three Forks FFA has placed 3rd in district sweepstakes. Now finalized, Three Forks FFA will be competing at the 2026 Montana FFA State Convention with the following teams: forestry, livestock evaluation, marketing plan, vet science, horse evaluation, floriculture, agriculture sales and service, farm business management, and junior creed speaking. We are happy to announce that due to his incredible contributions and support of FFA and the Southwestern FFA District these past few years, Matt Marks has been accepted as a 2026 Montana FFA honorary state degree recipient. He's one of only 4 individuals statewide to receive this very high honor, and Matt will be recognized at the 2026 Montana FFA State Convention in April. Our rose sales went well. Thank you to all who bought roses and supported Three Forks FFA. And next week is National FFA Week, so we will have a few fun activities planned to celebrate. And finally, we will hit the road with a few practice contests next week. We are headed to Sheridan for the FFA Border Wars and Conrad for Conrad Crops and Mechanics. Thank you.
Good job, you guys.
BTE.
I have a quick one. Teacher chose this one. It's been kind of quiet. So Maddie Mahoney, she earned a donor's juice. So heads off to Maddie. I think it was for some manipulatives for her kinders. Kathy Fowles, she has $100 coming from Explore Act Tell for the efforts that her kids had for the food drive last fall. Those funds will go into the courtyard. And then she had another $100 from the Montana Cattle Women's for $100 to purchase beef. Oh, this is always the game. Do a dance. So it's $100 to purchase beef for her culinary arts class. Updates, Mr. Schulf and his welding class, they've been working on fire pits. 2 of them are out in line. The first one is with Mr. Provenza for the Powerlifting Club's fundraising raffle, if anybody's interested. Mr. Provenza is selling those raffle tickets. They will be drawn, or winners will be drawn Thursday night at senior night during the second ball game. And then the second fire pit that Mr. Schulf is working on is to be given to the Mason Moore Foundation as part of their fundraising efforts as well. So that's pretty exciting. I've got some kids working on some work for Jody with the Mason Moore Foundation for the Love Wins Bash. The kids are working on some of her media that'll be present during the actual. So hats off to Jody for including our kids every year And then lastly, to keep it short and sweet, we've started working on Cookins 5. You guys get ready. All of the surveys will be coming out here soon. That's all.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, in the pack.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
All right, Amanda Phoebe with the PAC. I haven't seen you guys in a while. But a couple of updates. So, Mr. Fanning helped us get out a teacher survey over the past few weeks. We heard back from 15 of our teachers, which was awesome, and we got some really good feedback about awareness of the PAC. We just weren't sure. Teachers are busy, right? And they don't always reach out for help. So we were just curious kind of what that awareness level is. So good news, they know who they are. And then they gave us some really good insight about things that we can do to support them in the classroom, support students with some incentives and some other ideas that we're talking about. So that was great. We started a monthly review of Donors Choose campaigns, so we're already able to help out a few of our teachers through that, and then Amazon wish list as well. So that's been really exciting. We've been really pushing the fundraising, which, as I'm sure you all know, is very challenging to do. But the little bit of success we've had, it's been really great to be able to actually implement some of those support things that are a little bit. So we're really hoping that those are impactful. The Donors Choose an Amazon wish list our goal is to do some sort of contribution every month that school is in session. So hopefully we can keep that going. Gearing up for appreciation season, we've got a whole lot in the spring, so we'll have some goodies planned throughout the school. And then 3 board vacancies at the end of this year. So tell my friend I need some people. So my position, the present position, is coming open. VP1, which is our fundraising and like business partnership, and then our treasurer position. So if you know folks who are interested, we'd love to have some more folks join us. Yeah, thanks you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, and next up we have administrator updates, and we'll start with Superintendent Rhonda Ucott.
All right, first I wanted to mention, goal 1, our student centered. We are in the process of finalizing plans for the summer programming, and I just, Three Forks has one of the best summer programs around. We provide services for a large number of kiddos. I do want to put this out there that, so we also are doing the Jumpstart program, which we get some funding from the state to meet the needs of kids who qualified for maybe some remediation, but we also have a lot of enrichment for kids just that would like the summer program. Here's the thing that needs to be out there for the community is if you have an interest in working, if you have a background in working with children, we are still looking for staffing for it. The staffing that we are able to employ will greatly directly impact how many grade levels we can offer it and the number. We don't want to have to put a cap on it, but right now we're a little concerned about the interest level in getting people that want to work this summer. So I know in the past, Lisa, haven't you hit like 160 plus kids?
Yep, last year we were 160 plus.
Yeah, and right now we're now looking at least at this early stage, we don't have the staffing to do that. So that means we'll have to cap it. And it does pay, we partner with 21st Century Learning. And so we do have a $30 an hour pay rate for people that are willing to do that. Another thing, going on to goal 2, our community engagement and relations. Adult Ed is gearing up. If you're interested in signing up for any of the classes that we have, look on our website. It's the first banner that comes up. You can sign up for Adult Ed classes. They're going to start. They'll begin on March the 16th. The other good news, and we mentioned this before with that tax donation portal, I know that Elisa was on her game with that. We ended up taking in a total of $135,000, but that portal closed in 7 minutes this year. That means districts are really getting the word out, and when that maximum is hit that the state will allow, it closes down. And, just a big thank you to Matthew Nisler, $130,000 donation. Emily Kennedy, $2,500. Erin Hayter, who does, works here at the school. It was a $2,000 donation, and Carolyn Miller, she's been very consistent. She also donates, and we appreciate the $500 there. So, we're just seeing that is tightening up. Each year, the state increases the amount that can be donated across the state, but once that threshold hits, it closes. So big kudos to Lisa for getting it in 7 minutes, and Paula. We appreciate that. Another big piece of news I wanted to share is that we have our very own celebrity here. Lisa Malmquist was appointed to chair the Early Childhood Committee for the state of Montana by Governor June Forte.
Wow.
So we're really impressed with that.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Here in Early Childhood.
That's awesome.
And then the other piece under that category would be, we have had 4 people sign up for the board, and that deadline has passed. And I just wanted to say thank you to Amanda. She is one of the candidates, and Robert for being here tonight. Thank you both for being here. Then goal 3, operations and building capacity. I wanted just to tell you, we had a really great intruder training last at our February PIR staff training day. And so law enforcement came in. We actually physically went through the motions of disarming intruders with guns, and they were well padded, but we really took out some frustrations there. It was great. It was totally optional, but a lot of the staff did do it. It was
That's with Jess Imke.
oh yeah, she
We wanted her to say.
you all. And then also part of that training was we went into different areas of the building and talked about, ways to enhance our safety. And then even went through some mock, it kind of made your heart beat fast, but went through some mock blanks that were fired and how to respond if someone comes in the door. I know this is a little tough to talk about, but I think it should be reassuring that the entire staff and the admin team went through that training, and just to be, proactive. On a good note, under operations and building capacity, I'm going to knock on wood and say that we are expecting at this point in our conversations very little staff turnover this year. So our retention efforts, working on salary increases and some of the things that we're able to offer here with the staff daycare, the 4-day week, those kinds of things, we're seeing the fruit of those efforts. I mean, we're hoping that there'll be very little. We know we have a retiree, but very little staff turnover. I did want to also give you an update. Our calendar survey has gone out to staff with some options, and there isn't a lot of wiggle room when you're doing a 4-day week, and to get the required number of minutes, instructional minutes in. You can't condense and start after Labor Day and get out before Memorial. It doesn't work. But we give some options out to the staff to vote on that, and then we'll have a meeting with the calendar committee on March. No, I'm getting my dates mixed up here. Let's see. The calendar.
March 20th. Calendar committee meets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. I was on the wrong line. Yes, March 20th will be when we meet to kind of go over that and try to work out. As you know, we do a Friday a month as well, and we try to manage that around different events or sports. And then we're going to try to have a second insurance meeting. I've reached out to our broker on that. Here's kind of an overview quickly. Bridged Health has given us a deadline that we have to decide if we're going to join that consortium, which the state put in 40 million for. We have until March 13th to commit or not. And we have been trying and to get a quote from Pacific Source, which it would be nice to be able to stay with our current insurance. We've been happy with it, but we are not getting any kind of guarantee on if and what type of premium increase we could be looking at. Whereas the Bridged Health there'll be a savings. The premium is less, but there's a higher deductible. So instead of on one of the plans, instead of $500 deductible, it's $1,000. So that is not good for staff, but we also know that how much we're paying in insurance premiums gives us the money that we can negotiate with for, that affects our negotiations for salary increases. So we're just trying to avoid the possibility of missing that deadline for bridged health and then getting hit with a big premium increase with our current insurance. So we're doing everything we can to get some information from them. And then we're going to have another informational meeting for staff. And we've got a couple of dates. It's either a couple of dates that our broker has said that she can be here for. I'll get that out to staff. It's probably going to be February 25th or March the 2nd. So that'll be coming real soon when we nail that down. Do you have any questions about the insurance dilemma? Does that make sense what I'm talking about? We're given a deadline by the consortium, but we don't have our new information from our current insurance carrier.
How does that work for, like, would the board would that have to come to the board? So would we have to meet a week early?
If we make a
If you guys are making the recommendation for the change?
Yeah. Like I said, we've spent the last month saying we have to have a quote from a specific source. And the latest email I just got from Kendra just this afternoon was they have promised some information by February 28th. So that's why we may wait and meet that March 2nd. I'm just trying to get all of the information together. All right, and then my last piece is facility maintenance and enhancement. We did get a bid on the bleachers, and we were able to go through Montana Equipment to get that bid, and that's on the agenda later. So, any other questions for me? I thought I had a short report, it got kind of long. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, elementary principal Steve Fanning.
Yeah, student-centered, Little Wolves basketball's coming to an end this weekend. They've had a great season. Jamboree is set for Sunday, it's starting at 1 o'clock. If anybody wants to come and watch, admission is $5. It's the only time we really charge for the whole program, and it does help with a lot of our, paying our officials and our scorekeepers. So just be prepared for that. I know some people are always surprised. There is a purpose for it, so $5 to get in. Anybody that does not attend school, so under age 5, is free. We also have some great team pictures, courtesy of Rachel Krug Photography, and those are going to be sold as well, $5 a photo. So it's always good to have that little memory. Big thank you to Jesse. I'm gonna roll with that one. Jess and Bobby for helping with the brackets for the big tournament. So we're excited about that. We also have an elementary play coming on. We had some auditions tonight and then again tomorrow. Bronwyn Evans is putting that together again for the elementary grades. I think 2 through 6 are participating. It's great that she can do that. She's passionate. She does a great job. It's good to have that available for our kids and put on by our own staff. So pretty exciting. I think she was nailing down a date for the performance in March. Don't remember if that's exactly set yet, but we will push it out when it is. What's that?
I think the email is 16th and 17th at 6 p.m.
Perfect. There you go. So stay tuned. It should be fun. We have Read Across America Week coming up the week of March 2nd. I know that Mrs. Alba has some plans for that in the elementary. Should be fun. I think there's going to be a day where they can dress as their favorite storybook character. So that should be exciting. Operations and capacity building, our superhero teacher award in the elementary for, I believe it was a month ago, but we haven't had a staff meeting, is Alicia Boone. So she's a first grade teacher, does an amazing job. So congratulations, Alicia. Trimester 2 ends February 26th. So wow, we're cruising along. So one more week of trimester 2. Mast window 2 is kind of running up to the end as well. That closes March 6th. So we're doing a great job of trying to get those all completed, 100% attendance participation for that. So I know we've had a terrible window with sickness, so it's been hard to really get those all in. But if parents can, just communicate the best they can with teachers about that and, trying to get all of our kids tested. That is the goal. K-5 enrollment is the same from January. So rolling over, and this includes 2IK at 347. Any questions?
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, next we have IT Director Bobby Lawver.
I just noticed I did not link the report that I usually have on there. I'll get that sent out to everybody. Everything's holding about the same when it comes to our printing with our copiers. With the copiers, we did just get our return letters for the copiers that we bought out through Terrell's. So when Kelly Create took over the account, they paid us money, they took the machines. And then we had to keep paying on those leases because there was a buyout penalty. And so we finally made all the final payments on that, which in the Kelly Create account, we're still positive. So that's awesome. So, you know, everything worked out dollar wise like it was supposed to. But those are getting ready to be shipped out by Kelly Create. Network wise, we're still trying to get the bus barn back online. We did get the access point, or sorry, the bridge moved. The bridge used to be on the middle school and it shot through airwaves over to the bus barn. But as we all know, from the middle school entrance over there on Second to the bus barn, there's no line of sight anymore, but there's a building, right? So we moved the one off the middle school and we found out that if we go to the far trailer, the far corner, we can see the corner of the bus barn. So we haven't hooked up over here, but the corner of the bus barn we see is not the corner of the bus barn that the other end of the bridge is on. So now we've got to move that one over. That's going to take some ladder work. And for some reason, people at the school are worried about me on ladders. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? But that's almost there. I think we're going to be okay on that end, but we did have to run a couple lines in that trailer, punch a hole through the wall, seal it back up. That should be back up this week. I have a senior that's doing their senior hours with me. They started today, and he put RAM in a whole bunch of computers today and cleaned out a bunch of computers. So hopefully the 3 teachers that we did today are happy with that. Let's see, anything else network wise? Everything else network-wise seems to be rolling pretty smoothly. Chromebooks, I am seeing a little bit of an uptake on damages on Chromebooks. So parents, if you're listening, make sure that they're just being taken care of when they go home. We're seeing more damage outside the building than inside the building. Backpacks, make sure people don't step on backpacks. That's the last one we got when Chromebooks are in backpacks and people step on backpacks. The Chromebook doesn't fare very well. But all around, we're doing well with our Chromebooks this year. As the weather does get colder, I think we're supposed to have a couple cold days. Make sure they don't get left in the cars. That always seems to damage a few of them here and there. If you're interested in Wolves Live and want to come up and participate in Wolves Live, feel free to come up. We're always got something going on during that. If you don't know what we're talking about, 9 o'clock on Thursdays, we go live. My computer application class does our Wolves Live. And it's something.
You have fun, don't you?
It's a good time. There's rumors that we might be doing the Olympics this week. So, maybe some bobsledding, some speed skating, Stay tuned. You don't know what's going to happen this week. So you might want to watch that as it goes live. Any questions? I would say concerns, but I'm sure there's a lot.
Fun. Are there waivers involved with this?
Well, at one point it's going to be somebody versus Lawver. But I just don't know if I could do like 4 events. I'm not built for that. Speed skating could be one of them.
Our workman's comp claims are down. Let's
Yeah,
keep them.
workman's comp, that could be the greatest workman's comp claim ever. Broke leg, like figure skating in the gym. I could do that backflip. I think that guy's got nothing on me. More concerns or less concerns?
Last questions.
So I like that policy.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have middle school principal and children's services, Lisa Malmquist.
So middle school enrollment is up too. We're at 171. Daycare is maxed out at 16, and we had a new little baby born 2 nights ago, correct? Yeah, so we're staying full out there. 2YK, we're at 31, we'll be at 32 the 1st of March, and we keep 32 kind of as our max, 16 per classroom. For middle school, teacher of the month was Nathan McCracken. This week is midterms for 3rd quarter. We're almost done with the winter star testing, which is our first bout of district-wide testing. And it's really exciting to see where our students are and what our title intervention has done, and also our algebra classes for our 8th graders. So it's exciting, and it's good because I'm able to go back and look at their elementary scores and then kind of look at the progression. So that's been good to look at. Mass testing is finishing up. Again, like Mr. Fanning said, sickness has really affected that. And so we're working on catching up. Teachers are doing a fantastic job, along with Mrs. Walty, helping everyone catch up. Junior high basketball just ended. They had a great season. I'd like to thank Tara and Jared Postumus. They did a fantastic job coaching those girls. The 7th graders won their bracket of the tournament, and then those 8th grade girls, they just kept improving every single game. We still, though, have some basketball action for middle school because we have 4 8th graders that are playing high school basketball. So I'm excited to see senior night and then what happens in the next couple of weeks with tournaments. So that's really exciting. And big bowling trip today for 6th graders, bowling trip for 7th graders tomorrow. And they had a great time today. Jody Lore and Mrs. April Walty, they're the ones that took them today, and God bless those individuals. Daycare, as I said, we're full, but what's kind of neat this year is we have another student that's receiving her certification. So she's receiving her certification. She's going through all of the state requirements, and then she's also doing work-based internship. So I think that's really exciting when we can employ our own students. As far as 2YK, Head Start's been out this week doing some observations, actually today doing some observations. Their feedback is really important for what they like to see. I think it's good when we all collaborate. Our screening for next year's 2YK will be held in April. We're looking at dates right now. So there'll be an announcement on Facebook and on the school website, and then we'll have an online sign up just like we did last year where you can fill out the forms. This will be in conjunction with Head Start. So they will be also at the screening, fill out the paperwork, that sort of thing. As far as special education, we're in the middle of finishing up annual IEPs for the year. Also, I'd like to thank Christy Pierce. She's been working, she's the school psych in Manhattan, and so she's been coming down doing all our testing, which she does a fantastic job. And so it's nice to partner with Manhattan and for that school psych position. We always have a shortage of subs, and the guys might be talking about this, but we did do sub interviews yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, today's only Tuesday, right? Okay, we did sub interviews yesterday, and we looked at all applications, even if they weren't complete. We called in all of those folks, and it was great. So we have another batch of subs. I had another call tonight. We have someone else coming in tomorrow. So that's nice that people are interested in working here, and we kind of have people that want to work at all of our levels, which is exciting. Also, I just wanted to say one more thing about our training that we had on Teacher Friday. It was nice because law enforcement actually went into the new teachers' classrooms and looked at their classroom setup. And they are like, okay, your desk is good right here. Your setup is good, or, that's a little problematic. I would move my desk here, or I would do this. And teachers really took that feedback. So I felt like that was very useful, and it made our new teachers feel, I think, safer. So it was a good thing. But sorry, mine went long. Any questions?
On that one, is that something that we've done here before?
Mhm.
We have, and do all schools do it probably?
We did it
did it a couple of
years ago.
And then we also have drills, like those kinds of drills,
This is
but having law enforcement, how many were there? Probably 6. Yeah, and that was very, very helpful.
Thanks, Bobby.
No, there was only 6.
Not 7?
Not 7. But no, I felt like it was very useful, and it's a good training when the day goes fast. So it was good.
Thank you.
All right, now we have high school principal Greg Hayes.
Thank you. As Lisa said, we have third quarter midterm coming up here on Friday already. So, looking forward to that a little bit. Something that I finished up towards the end of January that took me a lot of time, is MTDA enrollments. We had 65 different enrollments that all have to be uploaded into Infinite Campus, and then sections built for various times of the day when those kids are in those MTDA classes. Just so you know, 14 of those enrollments were in AP or dual credit classes. I think there was only 3 AP classes, but so that leaves 11 dual credits. So those kids will be getting those credits through MTDA. And then I just looked it up, so I added this. We actually are up. We have 18 kids right now this second semester on work-based internships. So they're going out into the community, hopefully helping the community, helping other people around, and that's all being approved and monitored. So that does take up a bit of my time. Lastly, for student centered, I know we're going to have a board meeting before this time, but the ACT, just so parents know, is planned for March 24th. And Miranda has done a great job getting our teachers on board to do ACT prep during their preps. So that might be forthcoming, something we need to talk about when we're asking teachers to work on their prep time right now. You know, she's got a great schedule built. Aaron Harkins, for instance, only has 2 preps that he would have to give up over almost a month-long period or a 4-week period. So it's not overwhelming, but hopefully that aids and assists kids getting better on the ACT, because they're very reluctant to give up their lunchtime or their after school time. They do not want to do it. So maybe the caveat is they miss out on 1 period to go to Mr. Harkins if they want to work on ACT prep, and you know, other teachers have to be respectful of that, or are being respectful of that. Our enrollment, 235, I think Elisa might talk about that since our A&B was due. But I also know that we're probably getting 2 more kids in the high school, a freshman and an 11th grader this week, by the end of this week, that moved into our district. And there's also 2 in the middle school,
Yep.
maybe,
Yep.
that are moving in as well. So, yeah. The crowd in attendance has gone great this year. I really appreciate our crowds and what they bring to the table, and being respectful, and haven't had to eject any Three Forks fans yet, but it's been going well. Our teacher of the month for the last month was Miranda Kunis, which we also celebrated National Counselors Week or whatever. So big kudos to all of the counselors in the school and what they do for kids. Wrestling is at state February 19th. So they actually leave Thursday morning at 7 a.m. To go to Billings, and then they wrestle through the Saturday. We will be sending them off. I haven't really let teachers know this yet, but they did not want a big assembly. They wanted to just get sent off with us lining the hallways, since technically they're not even leaving. We're just walking them out on Wednesday so they can get an early start on Thursday. District basketball fires up February 25th through the 28th. I believe it's a Wednesday through a Saturday. Hopefully we don't have to play on the Wednesday, but I know some of our kids will go. So it's kind of dependent on how senior night goes. Not tomorrow night, Thursday night against Ennis. So that'll kind of determine where we are actually seated. So make sure you show up for that. Celebrate our seniors. Again, that's Thursday night. And then also there's Little Wolves going on. And it's going to be a nice long night here, but please show up for that. Operations and capacity, you mentioned the active shooter training. And then also, I wanted to mention we did have a canine inspection on February 10th, and we were good. It did hit on a few cars which had some spent shell casings in the back of them, or empty beer cans, which they swear are their dad's. So parents, I still have to talk to your kid, and if you leave a 6-pack of beer in dad's truck and the student drives it to school, or with a gun in it, and that dog hits on it, we have to discipline your kiddo. So make sure you clean out your vehicles. It does help. It does make it go a little faster. And we do know that the drug dog is hitting on stuff. So that's kind of good news too, because we plant stuff around the building. I know Matt Ward is planning, I don't know the specific date. He was still kind of setting that out for bus evacuation drill, something we need to do every year. So that's on the itinerary as well. That is all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our financial report with Elisa Meeks.
We open up the expenditures versus budgets. This just shows where we're sitting with our current expenditures to date versus our budgets and our budgeted funds, the percent of the budget that's been expended. No big changes. Everything is looking as we expect. Our general funds are about the same percentage as what we were seeing last year as far as expenditure versus budget amount. Nobody has any questions. We can move on to the cash report. This shows the current numbers that I've received from the county as far as cash that's come in for December. You'll see an increase in most of the funds because we had our November tax collection. The big months when we see the tax numbers come in are November and May. In Fund 15, we did receive several cash payments for our title grants, IDEA and REAP. So that's the increase there. And we did receive transportation and retirement distribution payments. The first round of them came in from Broadwater and Gallatin County. Scroll down so we can see the high school numbers. And just as a point of note, the adult ed fund in the high school has more cash in it than the elementary. Just the way the numbers have worked over the year, I'm not sure if when the adult ed program was started years ago, if they were spending down the elementary one first. The last few years, we've taken our expenditures from both the elementary and the high school adult ed funds. But I'm going to switch over this year and just take it from the high school fund because on the elementary side, we'll start dipping into the cash that we've got in investments right now. So it makes more sense to take it from the high school and just spend that down. Any questions on that report? So then, as Rhonda had mentioned, we do have 4 trustee candidates who filed for the May 2026 election. We've got Aaron Lattimore, Robert Buchholz, Amanda Tebey, and Nathan Miller. Our spring count day was February 2nd, and so we did get our A and B numbers that we used to plan for our next budget. And for this year, we are sitting at our spring numbers, 425 kids in grades pre-K through 6. This is how they break it up for the budgets. And 119 kids in grades 7 through 8, 250 kids in the high school. But the numbers that they actually used for the budget, they first put it through the big calculation where all the little bits of A and B that we can get for Jumpstart or for kids who are homeschooled but participating in extracurricular activities here, a few things like that, they get added into our numbers. And then they also, in the calculation, they include our fall numbers and our spring numbers. And so they'll come out with final number. Then they'll look at our 3-year average and whether the current numbers or the 3-year average is highest, that's what our budget gets based off of. Doing a preliminary look at next year's budget, it looks like our 3-year average is what we'll be going with. The preliminary budgets will be released March 1st. That's usually when they're out, so we are anxiously awaiting that day. And then tonight, one of the agenda topics is whether we want to do an amendment on what we've currently requested as what we're running on our ballots, whether we're doing, right now we're requesting a general fund levy for both elementary and high school, and also a high school technology levy. And we have until February 24th. That's their deadline for making an amendment to choose whether we want to change that and run a different type of levy or drop any of those.
But for clarification, that's not setting the levy amounts. It's just deciding if we're going to run one or not. We have until March to set those amounts, which we'll come back with.
Yeah, and so the county elections office is requesting that we have drafts of the ballot language for the levies to them by Friday, March 13th. But we have between March 23rd and March 26th to edit, to proofread that language. So any changes in the amounts have to be nailed down by March 26th. That's the last day we can make any changes to that. Regular voter registration closes Monday, April 6th, and ballots will be mailed out Friday, April 17th. So I just want people to start thinking about making sure their voter registration status is up to date. And then with Infinite Campus, we had, they put out a change in the third-party vendor that is used for credit card payments. And I finally got us migrated over to the new platform for that. But parents and guardians, if they log into their Infinite Campus parent portal, they may see that if they had saved any payment information, that's been deleted as part of the migration. It just wiped that out. So anybody would need to go in and re-enter their credit card or banking information. And I found out that if you manually enter your banking information, it takes a couple of days to do a verification on that.
So all of us set up on auto pay when it hits a certain balance needs to go in and
I think
re-up.
so. Yeah. So everybody
So I have to
should
pay attention to that text this time.
probably want to go and check that and make sure it's been updated. And last but not least, Three Forks Schools was awarded another round of advanced opportunity grant funding for the 2026-27 school year. $7,738 for the elementary district and $19,270 for the high school district. So, and again, thanks to Mrs. Phelps for getting that all rolling to awesome and get us started with. Yeah. All I have for you.
All right. All right, up to some new business. First off, we have a recommendation to approve the ratification of negotiated contract to hire Colby Fitzgerald as Three Forks Superintendent for contract for 2026 through 2028.
I'll make a recommendation to approve ratification of negotiated contract to hire Colby Fitzgerald as Three Forks Superintendent per contract for 2026 through 2028.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion passes.
Yay!
Mayor.
Hi, team. Is it okay if I just interject quickly?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, good evening, everybody. I was just going to say, I didn't know if I was kind of going to jump on here. A mix of excitement with all of the awesome and amazing things that are going on over at Three Forks, but then a little mix of anxiety with ladders on roofs and bowling balls on toes and speed skating in the gym. But I just wanted to say how much I appreciate this opportunity and how much I and my family are looking forward to this. So special thank you. Also wanted to just give a quick shout out to Dr. Utlat for spending some time with me and my family after our interview and welcoming us to the community and allowing us to take a little tour of the school, where we got to observe the Little Wolves programs that were going on and mingle a little bit with some community members there too. So again, really excited. It's great to see that Three Forks is in such a great place, and I just look forward to joining the team and seeing what growth and progress we can make to take it even to the next level. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have a review and discussion of resolution calling for election trustee and mill levy, including possible amendment.
I'm going to interject real quick. Mr. Fitzgerald, thank you for that. And I just wanted to say you are welcome at any of our board meetings. I know you have other commitments tonight, so I just wanted to say, don't feel bad about signing off, but of course you're welcome to stay on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Actually, my daughter is playing West versus Belgrade tonight, so I think I might sneak out here, but I appreciate the communication that I've had with you, Rhonda, and I'll maintain contact with that because I'd like to be as involved as I can as we move forward throughout the spring.
Sure.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Started. I just-
I'll back up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. All right, so next up, we have a review and discussion of resolution calling for election trustee and mill levy, including possible amendment.
So Bobby, if you'll open that, either one of those. These are the resolutions that we passed, per the required dates back in December, I believe, and so this elementary one says, if you'll scroll up a little, that the purpose of this election is to elect 2 trustees for a 3-year term, and approval of additional levies to operate and maintain the elementary general fund for fiscal year 2027 will also be requested. High school version is the same, except it also lists us running a high school technology levy. And this is where, if we need to make any changes to this, we've got till February 24th to do so.
So typically what happens that in March, Elisa and I will come with a couple of different option scenarios and we'll talk through those. Obviously, the board can even change and go with another, but those we've discussed in the past, and then the board makes a decision on which amount they want to work with. We've already been looking at, Lisa's done a lot of work on it, but just there is not much wiggle room with the A and B numbers that we have. We're going to be required to even increase to meet the STARS Act, our lowest salary. That's going to cost, and to be able to have wiggle room to be able to do much of anything as far as advancement of salaries or increased costs, we need to be looking at a levy. But again, tonight is just about, if we want to say, no, we're not running a levy, next month will be the amounts that we feel might be needed. That makes sense.
I think we need to run them.
I
At least
think,
the technology one.
yeah, I think the technology and obviously the trustee, that one, no question. I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate. I know we need a levy. I know this is not like to mean any disrespect to our staff. They deserve much more money than we're paying them. But I also think we have been told no year after year after year. We're not getting the voter turnout. It's staying pretty consistent. I looked at numbers like 2019, 22, 23, 24, 25. I mean, we're consistently around 50 to 60% saying no. Numbers are really, like, voter turnout's not really going one way or the other. The community is growing, so I would expect it to be more. How do we actually get a levy passed? Like, do we need to do a committee? Because at this point, it just feels like we're training the voters just to say no, because the school's asking. So like, how do we flip the script to actually make it positive? And also, you know, it's so disheartening for our staff to get that no every year.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if that's okay. Why do we do mail-in and not a polling place? Because if you have to walk in here and you have big displays of kids and stuff, I think it's a lot harder to say no.
It all has to do with the way the election has to be run and the way the county is staffed and the way we're staffed. The county prefers all schools to run mail-in ballot elections. And in order for us to run a polling place, the county won't be involved at all. The entire responsibility falls on us, and we have to meet every single requirement, having all the staffing, getting the voter machines in for disabled people, having people staff it the entire time.
Well, they have to be trained.
Yeah, they have to be trained. There are a lot of requirements that we have to meet.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just easy to sit home and check no.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time you had one down here? Your notes that you just, those numbers that you had, was it much different?
Was that 2015
Or-
or 2016?
Somewhere back.
Do we get better turnout by doing it that way?
I didn't go that far back.
Oh, I didn't know.
May I jump in? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have been giving this some thought as well. And I would like, first of all, I'd like to have a levy and pass it. I see what Leanna's talking about, where I don't want to put up a levy, do the same thing we've done every year, and the morale aspect of not having the levy pass, what that looked like. I mean, that is not something I'd really like for our staff to go through again. Our board, everybody, admin, all of us were very disheartened when that levy did not pass. And I think that if we do want to put up a levy, we probably should have a committee formed. We should be first focusing on voter registration, getting more people involved, and probably have that include a couple board members, include the PAC, figure out what other stakeholders are willing to participate in a concentrated effort. If there's the possibility of activating enough people to then go out and activate our community, then I feel like it would be productive to ask for a levy. I don't want to ask for a levy and then sit back and wait and see what happens. That feels like setting ourselves up for failure again.
I will say this, notes well taken. I don't know that we've ever just sat back and watched and waited and hoped for. There have been a lot of people that have put, Bobby is one, Steve. I mean, there have been a lot of people that have really worked hard at trying to get these levies to pass. And I know we've had staff that have been committed. I agree that, to turn that direction probably takes more consideration, but and again, we'll come in March. I know you have to make the decision whether to run one or not, but just to give you some preliminary idea, when we were meeting today, Elisa's pulled together, the high school is going to be looking at almost $10,000 less in their budget next year. And that doesn't account for giving anybody any kind of a raise or cost of living or higher prices on anything. The high school might be, or the elementary, it's more like 79,000 additional, but it's going to cost about 12 to 13,000 just to bring up those lowest to the next star. I don't want to use slang that people. So to take our minimum teacher pay in order to get our star payment, it's going to cost us another 12 to 13,000 just to bring that up, and that's no cost of living increase for any of our staff. So it's not a real pretty picture right now looking at what next year will look like. I hear what you're saying. So this is a board decision on whether you want to run a levy or not. Believe me, we've watched how it hits morale and how discouraged people are when it doesn't pass. I get that. I hear it. I'm just saying next year's picture is not going to look very promising without a levy. And again, I said this till I was blue in the face every year that we are behind every other district on running. We don't on our minimum levied amount. We just don't do it. We don't. A lot of districts have hit the cap, the maximum they're allowed to levy locally. We haven't even come close to it. And again, I don't want to, you can probably jump in. I think we have levying ability of upwards to $600,000, $700,000. We could, we're not,
And that's
obviously,
just in one district.
that's just the elementary district, isn't it?
Yeah, we could almost levy 350,000 in the high school, 568,000 in the.
So each year we're getting further and further and further behind because we're unable to pass a local levy.
Yet the public can look at it and say, we're surviving and we haven't passed the levy. So keep on doing it. And again, I'm just wanting to have a discussion. I'm just a full circle.
And I'd also like to clarify, I didn't mean to say we're all sitting back and letting it happen. I really am grateful. I'm grateful for everyone who's been putting an effort up to this point. I know all of the various ways we've been trying. And I guess I meant to say that we probably need to be looking at those efforts we've been making in the past, but adding to them and being additionally proactive in ways that hopefully that we can think of in order to make it more successful. So I don't want to come off ungrateful, and I didn't mean to sound that way.
Is there a way to do a poll to find out why? Because we could have every person voting, but why are people voting no? Find out what their core problem is with these levies. And I understand that times are tough. Everybody's having to tighten their belt with cost of everything going up, and it's one more tax. Like, we haven't got enough of those. And what is the core issue of why these aren't passing? And then build a levy around that. If we can get that information, structure it to work with what the public wants. Because I mean, if we just keep throwing levies, they're not passing. It's not working. We need to find out what the core issue of why they're not passing. Can we do a poll or something to tap into the public's opinion on what they want to see with a levy? Why they're not voting
We've
for 'em?
consistently had the voter turnout's been about the same, which isn't good. So
Yeah,
it's just getting people to get out there and vote. And like last year, I loved all the paperwork put together about like the $8 a month or whatever it was gonna be. I loved the numbers. I was so excited and just didn't.
Even the technology, which was pennies,
Yeah.
it was so minimal, and even that did not pass.
Yeah,
I was
that
really
was-
hopeful.
and I remember going to the market and seeing the pack out there,
Yeah.
you know, out at the entrance of the market, trying to influence people like, hey, we need this, which we do. But I'm just more curious on why people are voting no. You know,
It's the one thing they can vote no on. Do you want to pay more taxes? No.
no, and I
You
get
know,
that.
I mean, every other
Same
thing like
people, though.
permits it.
We're not getting the new people. We're not,
Exactly.
it's being registered to vote. That's the first step, I feel, because I know a lot of people are strong voters in this community, but they're also older voters too. You know, living on fixed incomes, that sort of thing. What about some of the new subdivisions that are within? I mean, I think that's where our target needs to be.
Cause it looks like we're at like 22, 1100, then 1200, then 1300, and then we dropped down to 1182 for the 2025.
consistent,
So
yeah.
there's not a lot of variation when we think about how much growth
Absolutely.
has come to the Wheatland area and different areas.
One of the comments I've gotten from other superintendents who, we've had the discussions on, how do you get a levy to pass? And it's never been one that I've been real anxious about or even like the idea, but I hear over and over that when it comes down to a committee sitting down and saying, if this doesn't pass, we're cutting this sport, this program, and actually listing it out, that inspires people to go, oh my gosh, I don't want JV sports cut. I don't want those, that has an impact. And I've been told that can make levies pass. That feels pretty aggressive. And
Well, you're almost able to leverage those people that care so much, and they're gonna go out and tell more people and activate more people, hopefully, and that's what it does.
And unfortunately, there's been a history of, staff retention in years past. And if you do not keep up with, so a lot of our verbiage has been about, we have to pay our teachers a living wage in order to keep them. This last year, the STARS Act saved us because we didn't pass the levy, but we got enough in STARS Act to give enough of a bump that we were able to stay, somewhat competitive. If we can't keep our salaries competitive, we are going to continue to see turnover. And one of the biggest parent complaints we've ever had at any time is usually, it's a teacher issue or a turnover in teacher. Parents don't want to see that. They want to hang on to the good teachers. How do you put that in levy verbiage that this is to retain quality teachers?
Well, I will tell you, one of the things that was very impactful when we passed the bond was that verbiage that came straight from the mouth of a child or a teacher saying, you know what, if this levy doesn't pass, I can't buy books, or we have to cut this curriculum, like it came from those, and that is an emotional thing that you hear from a child or a teacher saying, it's gonna come out of my pocket to pay for supplies for this classroom. Like, that is very moving and effective. I don't know if that's something we could talk about, but.
Well, in our bus situation, we can't pay these bus drivers. Like you said, we've had people that maybe would do it, but we're not paying them what they can get other places. So if we had money to be able to pay them better, maybe we could alleviate that problem.
Yeah.
Here's my question, if I may. Do we have maybe 2 board members that feel passionate enough about to have these conversations more in depth, loop in admin, loop in, like, these kinds of ideas are really good. And like, I guess my question would be, do we have enough people who could or would be willing to step up and get testimonials from kids or whatever that looks like, or activating parents to go door to door and knock on new subdivisions, make sure people are signed up to vote, let them know about the levy once that information's available. Like, I guess that would be my question to the board. I know personally, I don't have the bandwidth, and I know that's unfair for me to ask of others, but that would be my question, if that's the direction that could be potentially helpful versus just throwing out ideas in a board meeting and not having an action plan behind it.
Well, and I don't think it needs to be like 1 or 2 people. I think it could be the whole entire board. You just all figure out what you can give and what you can do, and you make a plan with whoever wants to be a part of this. I mean, I don't think it should just be Leanna's face and my face or whatever. I think it needs to be a unity of the board, everybody participating in some form, whether you're at a game and advocating for the levy or you're, well, like you said, all the different ideas. But I think we should do it together.
I agree. I just meant more like getting all of those parts and pieces organized. And absolutely. I mean, I think hopefully all of us are putting out some amount of effort in that. I just mean having kind of maybe some people who are kind of getting some of that organized it doesn't have to be a committee though. That's kind of my question though, is just if it's hard to get all of us together to do that. And usually it's easier with a committee, but it doesn't have to be that way.
I like what you said about like getting somebody like at a basketball game, which basketball's almost over, but have somebody at the door there and asking people about voter registration. Can we do that?
And as long as you don't have a forum.
Huh?
As long as you don't have a forum, you can.
Okay. Well, and even the door-to-door thing, I mean, it's tax season, but I can do a little bit. Till like we're 15. I like to go bug people. I think it's kind of fun.
I'm not gonna be
Go
able to
talk to him.
for the next couple of months.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
The pack.
Oh, and I don't think it's just a board thing. I think it's gotta come from teachers. It's gotta come from administration. Anybody that is involved in this impact should be involved in it, period. I mean, we all have to advocate for this and.
I agree.
Well, even parents that have students,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
affects everybody.
I think key to this is getting an early start. So if the planning that goes into this needs to happen, like starting out once the information is set, is getting this out in March and April till it's over and over.
I mean, I think the biggest thing from bond to levies, when we passed the bond, it was community driven. Community can say vote yes. We cannot say vote yes. All we can say is we have a levy. Here's the impact of the levy. We can't tell people to vote yes. We can't tell people to vote no. There's districts that get in trouble for even telling their teachers to tell people to vote yes. It's got to be community driven. When we did the bond, we had community members put together a video stating why it had to happen. And that video, in my opinion, pushed it over the top because it was the community that put it together. So until we get the community out there saying vote yes, because we can't, the school and the school board cannot tell anybody to vote yes.
We can say
here's
vote.
the information, you can vote, but we already know what they're going to vote. So we need the community and those stakeholders to get out and tell people to vote yes. So I think it's getting the community rallied. And I
Could
don't
you
know.
do a voter registration drive and maybe something with like kids, something like what it means to vote, or, you know,
We did something along the
Something like
lines where
that.
I know there were voter
Yeah, we've
registration.
done it every year.
We've done it
I
every
mean, it's
year.
not, we're
It's
talking
not
about
new,
the same
yeah.
song and dance we've done for like 10 years.
I would love to like maybe if, you know, a board member or two could meet at the shop on a Saturday morning and have just like a talk on the phone, meet board members, meet if you know, the people who are coming up on the ballot, if one of them or they could be there and just be in the community versus, because it seems like we're not getting people to the school. We're not getting people to big events. It would have to be like those in-town connections.
Like you said, the pack, they were at the market.
Yeah. So they were able to, yeah, cause
Are we not?
we would, yes, please, public comment as well.
Oh, yeah.
Jess and I are both like, can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? We were, the pack was at the shop in the market and the post office last year. I would say the market was our best spot, like 5 o'clock when it's crazy busy. We had teachers who were out there with us as well on multiple of those times, and they were like, they were getting after it. They're very enthusiastic. And they, I mean, we can promote, we can talk about voter registration and give information on the levy, right? But they're the boots on the ground people who are doing the work and can talk about, I can't buy book. So it was very impactful to have the teachers with us. So as long as we're able to do that at times that work for them, my guess is that they would to keep it again. But that was really, the market was like our sweet spot. The shop was kind of meh. The post office was definitely meh because we have to get it on the street rather than at the post office. But the market was a really great spot. We did the let me know if I need to be quiet.
No, please continue.
I don't want to break the rules. But we also got testimonials from teachers last year and did that full page spread in the paper. I don't know if you guys remember. And we have some ideas on doing that again or maybe doing it differently. No idea what the impact of that was, right? It's in the paper and we don't know if people are reading it, but I felt like we got some really great stuff from the teachers who participated as well. So anyway, those are just a few of the things that we did last year that I think were helpful. And we can certainly do again if you would like us to.
Well, what about if we created a hashtag also? I mean, I don't do social media, but everybody else does. So I mean, you get on TikTok and you have people giving testimonials like you're talking about, but utilizing social media and like TikTok and Instagram and things like that to just get the information out there.
Yeah. I think the hard thing is our older people.
We make
We have so many
trips to
young
the
folks
senior
with it.
center, we made trips to the senior center, I think we took goodies, I mean, there were things happening, it's just, part of it, I would think also was, I think there's been some tax relief, but before that, everybody's taxes jumped so high, it was about impossible to check, yes, they just were worried how they were gonna pay their tax
It's the
bills.
fixed income, the
Yeah.
older people. is what I'm
I think
thinking.
we had
What do
another.
you got, Jess?
So this is kind of interesting because it comes from the downtown, like shopping district here in Three Forks. We have people who live in the subdivisions outside of town that are west of town and they don't realize that there's even a town here because we are a drive-by location. They don't come into Three Forks, let alone know that there's coffee shops to like little retail locations. We have local crafters, we have a school, we have an active farmers market. We have people who live in our subdivisions 3 or 4 miles west of town who don't come to town, if that makes sense. So if I were to live there and I didn't know that was a thing, why would I cast a vote yes if I wasn't even aware of it? So I think we need, part of that draw that we need to educate them, like this is happening, and that's going to be using the pack to go to locations where they frequent. So if they don't come off at this exit, what exit are they getting off at? Well, what's gonna be out of that location? And I'm not gonna list businesses, but we can all have some come to mind. Those are gonna be your locations if you wanna capture a voting population that's west of town. So, and I don't know what it looks like as far as, like the Logan exit, but I'm gonna assume I haven't been up to Madison in a long time to see if there's any development there either, but that's a consideration.
Did you have something, Robert?
Well, yeah, and I hate to say it, I know you brought it up a little bit, Rhonda, but the last time a levy passed here, it was presented as, we're doing it to give ourselves raises. And if you don't, we're cutting these programs. That, I mean, it was a carrot and stick. There, that was the only way the community got motivated to pass the levy. The bond was a little bit different, but as soon as the bond passed and they said, hey, we need money to help staff it, everybody threw their hands up and went, oh, you guys just want more money. And, but there was no consequences to it. And I know the STARS Act helped out this last year, but a $10,000 shortfall, you can't do that. It's against the finance laws of Montana. You can't technically run in a deficit. It's not allowed.
Work your magic, right?
Yeah, you gotta work your magic and pull it from a multi-district fund that isn't being replenished. So that goes away real quick. Unfortunately, that consequence has to be shown that, hey, we're gonna have to cut C squads from all the basketball teams and all the volleyball teams. And we're gonna have to cut, you're gonna have to pay for your own food.
You don't show up, they're losing something, they think they're losing
If
nothing.
you wanna travel with the teams,
As much as that sucks.
you gotta commit some money to pay for the hotels, because we can't afford to do that. That kind of stuff gets, fortunately,
Yeah, I think, when we actually come to the numbers, could you guys have some information for us of what will get cut if we don't run levies? Some areas that are potentials for us to be
I
able,
think we could give you some potentials of cost. This is what it costs for
just, yeah,
for different programs and different sports. And then it's really a board decision on what are the things we're going to cut.
if you could give us some.
Yeah, we can definitely put some of that together, and maybe you guys will have other ideas. We can go back and come up with some other numbers to crunch. But again, making those decisions on what's going to be cut has to be
No, if you
Yeah.
could just show us
Sure.
the area.
Yeah.
Or
so-
even things that have been cut that will stay cut, or things that we haven't been able to approve or
Well,
haven't been
right.
able to expand.
Right, we don't have a foreign language teacher and we haven't been able to, to justify doing that. We've been able to cover it with MDTA. We know that in person is always better. There are things, that we can make a list of some of the things and the costs. And like, for instance, Paula has every sports and what it's costing. So we know the dollar amount for everyone. We can give you guys that. Okay.
And could you go back and remind us of, what was it in 2021, 22, when we had to really cut lean in elementary?
We cut,
Paras.
certified and para.
Yeah.
We had to make cuts on both.
I think that was on all the documentation that you guys had put together last year too, that we put out for
Yeah,
the
these
public.
are the things that, and then we stopped paying for meals on traveling.
Yeah.
We didn't allow as much traveling to tournaments and events. So, yeah.
If we
I-
can have all those
No
reminders
out of
of,
state.
we really are lean.
We had a bunch of cost increases such as to our insurance,
Yep.
our liability insurance for the building.
And again, that makes me nervous not going into insurance. Not knowing what our insurance rates could go up to. We also had a year where staff got they didn't even get a cost of living raise.
another thing that might help is put it in, most people in this area are blue collar workers, they work hourly wages. Putting the numbers into something that makes sense to them. So the equivalent of a teacher's salary right
Yeah.
now, a starting teacher is under $20 an hour.
No, yeah, with stars, we've gone up higher, yeah.
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 There's people in this valley that, the work they do, they wouldn't do it for $20 an hour, but they expect a teacher to do far more and require far more education but they don't see that. All they see is the salary number and don't necessarily
I will say to the board, I did get some comments and pushback when we tried to give every piece of information we could, but I did get some pushback when we did a comparison. This is where Three Forks is compared to all of the other districts. I don't care what other districts are. I got some of that. And so to me, the more information we put out there, read what you want to about it. But I did hear that, well, we're not Bozeman, we're not, Belgrade, so I don't care what they're paying or what they're doing. But for us, when we're trying to recruit and interview teachers, they do care if they can go down the road and make a lot more. So it is important to us. So we'll give you everything we can, information we can. I think on this one, you don't have to make a decision other than do you want to run the levies? And
Yeah, do you want to make any changes to the current plan that we've got posted?
which is elementary levy, a high school levy, operational levies, and then a technology levy for the high school only. And Bobby, in talking about why is that needed, it's to replace.
Yeah, so our Chromebooks, last year we used our REAP money to replenish our Chromebooks, which isn't the greatest plan because REAP money is used other places. In the high school, and so to kind of give you an idea, it's 200 Chromebooks, that's 50,000 a year, just in Chromebooks, because we do them on a 4-year rotation. And then all of our teachers' clear touch boards, they have PCs inside of them. The teachers' Chromebooks, the teachers' computers, all of those need to be on that rotation. To give you an idea, last year we replaced 3 PC modules in the boards, and they're about $850 a piece, which in comparison to a full working computer or the clear touch board themselves isn't a lot. But when you start having to replace, I think right now we have 48 clear touch boards in the building. We've got to keep them on a rotation so we don't end up with, oh my goodness, we've got to replace out 25 PCs this upcoming year because we've ran them into the ground. So that's one of the reasons that the technology levy would be needed, is just to keep us steady where we're at. And just the normal rotation of technology just doesn't last.
And the reason we have that kind of technology is we had a lot of ESSER money, remember from COVID, that was only for so many years, and we were able to use that to get the technology where it is. So that's over with. To maintain your quality of technology, we don't have a high school technology levy that comes in. The elementary has one, but high school has nothing. And that's why does anyone remember what it was like? Was it $8 a month for the?
It was so little.
On the technology,
Yeah.
$600,000 house, it was 90 cents.
Yeah, it was
A month.
90 cents a month.
90 cents a month on a $600,000 house, if I remember that number correctly.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It was less than $1.
Yeah. All right. I think my number was coming from the cost for the operation, the levy was $8, yeah.
So, okay. We have a motion?
We don't need a motion, it's only discussion.
Oh.
Well,
Discussion.
if you want to change language,
Then you could make a motion.
But we don't
But we're not
change
making changes.
Real quick on like a different topic, it's just out of curiosity. So the adult education, when people sign up for those, is there a fee or is it okay?
yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
And that's also a permissive levy.
Okay.
It doesn't come out of our operational budget. We're not paying for that out of our main
Okay.
general fund.
All right, next we have a recommendation to approve individual transportation contracts.
We can strike that. We thought we might have one in and we don't, so we don't have any additional ones.
Next we have a recommendation to approve attachment A, substitute list.
I'll move to approve attachment A, substitute list.
I'll second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 The same sign. All right. Recommendation to approve adult education classes and staffing, attachment B, adult education.
I was glad to see the band on there.
Is that the right one?
Yeah, just scroll down. It lists the different classes and the instructors.
So just a quick question. I'll ask it later.
I'll move to approve adult education classes and staffing attachment be adult education.
Second.
Yeah, the only exclusion to that is we can't write a check to you, Brooke.
No, that's absolutely understood.
No,
No. Free fun. No, Sam's doing it and I'm just helping. I'm not expecting to make a penny at all. I'm just happy to help.
Yeah,
So
we legally we can't.
no,
so-
I know that. I
Okay.
understand. Absolutely, not a problem.
All right. Did Josh second that?
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Both same sign. All right, next we have a recommendation to approve contract for hire of Christy Pierce as school psychologist shared with Manhattan School District.
Make a recommendation to approve contract for hire of Christy Pierce as school psychologist, shared with Manhattan School District.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion passes. Recommendation to approve contract for Catherine Northrup Occupational Therapist Services.
I'll make a recommendation to approve contract for Catherine Northrup Occupational Therapist Services.
Second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next up, we have the recommendation to approve rate of pay for summer school staff 2026 at $30 per hour for adults and $15 per hour for students.
And last year it was $25 an hour, right? Were we able to raise that?
It was
Same?
30.
Okay.
We raised it at the beginning of last summer.
And our grant writer helps with all that. Yep. Perfect. I'll move to approve the rate of pay for summer school staff 2026 at $30 an hour for adults and $15 an hour for students.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, next up, we have a recommendation to approve purchase of gym bleacher replacements.
So, working with Montana School Equipment, they've put in a bid for bleachers. It looks like with the purchase price and the removal, it's gonna be about $140,000. Right now, the bleachers can't even be pushed back in. I don't know, Greg, if you have anything you want to add to that. I believe you guys did tell me that we had a safety issue with some bleachers not holding up on one end. They're broken.
It was kind of in the middle. And screws were falling out and fans were taking videos and sending it to me with them removing it. Because there's like screws laying there, so Mike did get them fixed, I believe, and so.
And then we can't even get replacement pieces for a lot of it. And go to the next one. It shows what they look like.
Are they the same as the ones we have, like same amount of rows and everything, or?
I believe so. The only difference is there will not be the wolves.
You
On
won't
there,
see
it's
it.
just gonna be
Yeah.
red and white.
Yeah.
That's an additional pretty big fee. That doesn't seem.
So, it's a chunk of money. We realize that. I don't see any way around it. We've got a liability going on with the broken ones we have now, and we can't even push them in or out. The timing on this, if the board chooses to move forward, is critical. It will probably be September before they can get them in, and then we'd have to work around volleyball and between volleyball and basketball seasons to get these removed and in. And we also have to get the floor finished in the summertime. That's the best we could come up with on timing and price wise. And we do have, as far as paying for it, we do, as I mentioned before, when we had an insurance
repayment come in off of that loss we took on the busted water pipes, all of that. That money has been in an account, so it'll cover about 90,000 of it. So we'll be looking at another 50,000 we'd have to come up with. We can look at the end of the year, we can look at our building reserve, where we're coming out. We might be able to pay for part of it out of that. Worst case scenario would be to take some of it out of interlocal. But wouldn't be the majority of it at all.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe this actually is becoming a safety issue, and because I was originally gonna ask, like, is this really a need or a want? Like, yes, they're staying out, but it's a hindrance, it's annoying, it's reducing the space in the gym, it's making things harder, but is it actually truly a need? But it sounds like they're breaking down a little bit more than we knew.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah, the whole frame's pretty bent up to where you can't really even piece it back together, so.
They've lived their lifespan.
And how
Yeah,
old?
they were 28 years, I believe,
Oh,
27. They predicted anywhere from 25 to 30 years. And I will make a promise that the cheer team will not do, and we're marching cheer, where the kids hop up and down on new bleachers.
Let's see how that goes, Greg.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That should be fun.
And it is one of those things for class, but also practice. You're limited on the space you have to use, which definitely impacts a lot of things. So it's not a want, it's a.
So people with the Booster Club had some great ideas to raise money to help cover some of the costs of the bleachers. Is that a legal and ethical route? Can booster money that they
They can
raise?
donate it to the school and it can go for the bleachers because that benefits all of our students.
Okay, because they had some fantastic ideas. The few people I talked to about it, I mean, one of the ideas they threw out was, I think it was the Sacagawea statue that's across from the hotel. I think somebody mentioned that was paid for solely by selling, memorial bricks and possibly doing something like that. There was a lot of options, but I think they'd be a great group of people to tap into because they had some good ideas. So then we're not feeling the brunt of it.
The school would love the money. Yes, we could use it. Plenty of things.
Well, I want to be very forthcoming and transparent with, yes, this, but
Yeah.
there's also going to be a need for replacing the visitor side bleachers at the football stadium. Robert's laughing because he and I've gone around. Those have been fixed and propped and helped as much as possible, but we're also getting to a point where those won't be nearly that kind of a price. But I would say that sometime in the upcoming months, maybe early summer, there needs to be some more stable ones, not huge, but something's got to replace over there. That's just.
Are you
it's hard.
talking about eliminating the wood ones that we were paying?
Which ones were
Because we bought some from Townsend.
No, there's two different sets, and the older ones that have been here and fixed up, those are the ones that
need to go.
Well, the Townsend ones were aluminum, but they also had a wood plank on them, and so that wood is deteriorating.
They did. I didn't realize that.
That was my assessment. I guess you could ask more to Mr. Schill.
Yeah, no, we'll take a look at it. I just didn't want to we buy these and you guys say what? Because I've been told that we may have to be looking at some replacements.
And I like your example of even selling sponsorships for this kind of stuff, because I'm gonna give you a heads up, and we all know this, but that's the last time that gym floor, the main gym floor, can be sanded. It will never be sanded again, so we will be replacing that in probably 8 to 10 years. And that's a floating floor, and you're looking at $750,000. The old gym, they will not sand. That floor probably has a lifespan of 5 more years, maybe. There's starting to be those little pin nails poking up. So that one's a little bit cheaper just because it's on concrete, but.
Can we have, I think one of the Booster Club folks brought up also with the gym floor, can we have advertisements from businesses?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can because we have Lurkines, or we did have Lurkines or whatever it was, the Pepsi company, Harrington's,
Mhm.
you know, donated the scoreboard and that kind of stuff. And also, I think, who was it, Stockman
Yeah.
Bank is doing the scoreboard out there on the football field, so
Mhm.
it can be done. It's a little obnoxious, but I think BJ, I know you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but Townsend Floor has a sponsorship right on the floor.
Exactly.
And on their basketball court. So,
Well,
I'm sorry, I was just.
I mean, that's
it
just down
saves
the
a lot.
road, so I don't wanna burn sponsorships before we need it, you know?
Yeah.
But especially when you're looking at a $750,000
Big bill.
price.
You get that amount.
I think the guy from Pro Performance Floors,
He gave it
he
to
kind of
us
said
once.
that's gonna be close, you know,
I knew that.
by the time you get around to it with appreciation. You know, if we were to do it today, it might be 500 down the road, you're looking at 200.
There's just a cost of maintaining it. You know, things wear out and happens.
well, I really like you saying that we have that 90,000. That makes me feel
Yeah.
a lot better.
Yeah.
It was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah. And so that'll essentially deplete that insurance money, right?
Yeah, that'll be it.
That's our last penny.
Is the insurance money a reimbursement or is it truly
No, it's a
in black?
reimbursement that it came in after the books were closed on, we had to pay the initial bills up front. And then we got a reimbursement in the next fiscal year. And so that's why it's sitting in that account for things like major projects. Yeah.
I'll make a recommendation to approve the purchase of gym bleacher replacements.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I just want to throw out there every year when we were doing the Boy Scouts with my kids, the top plant is always looking for places to donate money. So they'd be a good group to go and ask, see if they'd be willing to throw some money towards those bleacher replacements, either the outside ones, the inside ones, or replace in the future. I know they're all members. Yeah, members. Or whoever owns it this week. I mean,
Yeah.
I swear it turns around but they're always looking for tax deductible donations, so.
Just like the levy stuff, we can get people door to door communicating with community members, putting a face with what we're talking about. It's better. And kids too, get kids out asking. People like that.
How do you say no to kids?
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. You vote, Emily?
I chose not to vote.
Do you have, I think you have to vote.
You
Oh.
can't choose unless
Okay.
there's of interest.
Okay, I'll vote against.
Motion passes. Next up, we have the recommendation to approve rehire of Greg Higgs as Three Forks High School principal for the 2026-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll make a recommendation to approve the rehire of Greg Hayes as Three Forks High School principal for the 26-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Next up, we have a recommendation to approve rehire of Lisa Malmquist as Three Forks Middle School Principal, Director of Children's Service and Special Education for the 2026-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
Make a recommendation to approve the rehire of Lisa Blomquist as Three Forks School Middle School Principal, Director of Children's Services and Special Education for the 2026-7 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiations.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I guess I just want to check in with you, Lisa, and make sure that your workload is still manageable and you're still doing great with both and
I love what I do. Even on Saturdays. Yeah, even no, I do. It's been a great challenge and very, very manageable.
Good. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Next up, we have a recommendation to approve the rehire of Steve Fanning as Three Forks Elementary Principal for the 26-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll move to approve rehire of Steve Fanning as TFS elementary principal for the 2026-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Recommendation to approve the rehire of Bobby Lawver as IT Director for the 26-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll move to approve rehire of Bobby Lawver as IT Director for 2026-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next up, we have a recommendation to approve Three Forks resident student to attend other districts.
So this was, a out-of-district form we received from Manhattan School District for a student who lives within Three Forks School District's boundaries. It looks like this form was actually from last fall, but just needs to be approved by our board.
Just to clarify, since I can't see the list, can I not vote in this case?
There's no list, it's just, that's all the information. It's a student, we received the form from Manhattan. It's for a student who lives within our boundaries, but is attending Manhattan School District.
And has been attending.
Has
So we
been
have to
attending
approve
Oh,
there.
All year.
all year, so we have to reapprove this like every semester, is that how that works?
No, they
There's
did
this
one that just
slipped.
It must have just slipped through the cracks because each one of these forms has to be approved by the board of the district where the student is attending and the home district of the student, and we're the home district. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Normally have a list or we see the form.
Well, usually
So,
we
yeah.
give the list of the kids that are going the
in.
other way that are coming in.
Mhm.
So Emily, I have a question, so what happens if we don't approve it? How does that work?
I don't know.
districts just do that for you, that, and you'd have to have a reason not to allow,
Yeah.
because it's a state law that parents can choose the district. If that district is accepting them.
Yeah.
We can't, we'd have to have a, I don't know what kind of reason we could have for it, but I'm not gonna sign on to that one.
I'll make a motion to approve the Three Forks Schools resident student to attend another district.
And I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now I believe we're gonna go into a closed session to do our evaluation of District Clerk Elisa Meeks.
Back after.
And then we'll come back after,
And then close it.
and then Rapid plans and then.
You guys have to bring it back live again, I can mute it.
And we can
Why
go
don't you
together.
we'll just let them, yeah, just mute it. and they'll go ahead.
Then when you guys come
You just.
I'm gonna send it and you share it. Thank you for.
We'll go next, it'll be really quick, we'll go next door.
I'm Steve, yeah.
Emily said, she will just chill in here, she doesn't need to be a part of it.
Oh,
Or
okay.
we could even.
All the headshakes?
Yep. What? What are you? I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm just gonna mute myself.
Okay, give me a second to look at the computer first. Yay, deja vu. Did we just do that? All right.
All right. We'll go back into open session, and now we are looking for a recommendation to approve the rehire of Elisa Meeks as Three Forks Business Manager Clerk for the 26-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll move to approve rehire of Lisa Meeks as TFS Business Manager Clerk for the 2026-27 school year with salary and benefits to be determined pending negotiation.
I'll second. Go ahead, Josh.
All right, any further discussion? Other than a big old thank you, Lisa. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. All right. Next, we have an approval of claims, the ratification of February claims. Did policy committee have anything of note with these?
Finance.
Finance committee have anything of note with these?
We met last Thursday. It was good. And what was your question on the bus thing? I thought that was a really good one. So what was it? One of the buses had to be fixed.
Yeah.
Does it come out of the transport? It doesn't come out of the.
It was, yes,
Opposite, go ahead.
repairs to an activity bus have to come from the general funds. And so that's where.
It's only
latest
about buses
repairs
for
came from.
transportation.
Yes, and we did receive our insurance reimbursement check from MSGIA for that. So they paid for everything less the $1,000 deduction.
That's great. I'll move to approve the February claims.
I'm sorry, Lori.
No, you are just fine.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, lastly, we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.